Welcome to the Too Bad Eugene podcast. Let's talk Too Bad Eugene. All right. Hey, welcome to the Too Bad Eugene podcast. We have a new member of the band here we'd like to welcome to the show. This is Connor Bruce.
Well, hi. Yes,
Hooray.
hi. You at home too.
We're all together again. The first time we've done this since April. It is currently November. It took us that many months to do one with us all together. We're playing tonight up in Berkeley, so we're like, hey, we're all going to be in the same spot. Why don't we do one of these? This episode we are talking about shaking my fist at clouds.
SMFAC.
Is it?
Wow. As we call it.
That's what's known around my condo.
This is like our biggest song.
Yes.
This song like kind of took us places.
We did a video.
It was like our second video, but our first like concept video.
Production levels went through the roof.
A lot of prosthetics.
There's still a lot of
yes.
there's a lot of roof left we could still go
There's some
through
ceiling.
on our
ceiling.
videos. We make very DIY music videos, but except for
It's punk rock, dude.
the Astronomical. That
Yes.
one was a bit more professional.
Very
That was
high
Connor.
budget.
Connor put that one together.
Very high budget. I'm like sort of a Scorsese, you know, like, I won't brag.
Spielberg.
Yeah, a little Spielberg. Spielberg.
So yeah, this okay. So here's what I thought would be kind of a fun topic because when we put this song out, it was the first single from the new record, and I saw a few people said stuff like, "It sounds like at any rate 2024." Like this of our kind of newest era of our new era sounds the most like the beginning era, but like better produced. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I mean, it's definitely more poppy than what you did on Moonlighting. So
True.
you know, there's a pace to At Any Rate that I think translates really well for Battle Scars in general. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Very upbeat, major key, which would be, very at any rate esque, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Riff based.
Right.
I feel like we did a lot of riffy things.
Uh-huh.
Actually, so the
That's
one
what
on
I get from it.
Yeah.
The riffiness reminds me of it.
it's the song on At Any Rate, specifically Drawing Straws, that I think this one reminds me the most of. Kind of has an opening riff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a similar chord progression. It's like the 1 to the minor 6. But then it's a 4/5, where this is a 5/4. Sorry, trying to get too music theory nerdy on these things.
You wouldn't understand.
There's a similar vibe, I feel like.
Do you even listen to Tool?
Bro, you don't even listen to Tool. It's also like, I feel like one of only a couple more like social issues songs on Battle Scars. Where Battle Scars is pretty personal. I mean, so is Distance. Like they're both like kind of dealing with a lot of personal things. It's like this and 1619, I would say, are like the social issues songs that I think of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, because even the title suggests more personal standpoint. Shaking my fist at clouds.
You're okay. There is a personal element to it because it is me sort of like admitting to feeling old but I still feel like I'm playing a character in the song, and the character is the grumpy, middle-aged or boomer type person who's just complaining about the world changing, and I'm wanting to make a comment about that with this song. That like that is a pointless position to take because the world is changing. Like that's the nature of the world for it to change. Doesn't mean it's always changing for the better, but it also doesn't automatically mean it's just changing for the worse. I feel like the attitudes represented in the song are like it's just not it's not the world I grew up in, and the song is wanting to be like, so what? What says the world you grew up in was ideal? You know what I mean? So, like, there's a personal element to it in which I'm like, I hear myself sound like the character I'm playing in the song. as I get middle aged. Like sometimes I do sound like that, and some people have asked me whether or not the song is satire or whether it is more just personal. Like this is how I feel about things, and I was like, and my wife warned me when I played the song. She's like, people aren't going to get the joke. I'm like, oh, I bet they will. And she was right. Some people have been very worried that it's like an anti-woke song. Anti-all, because, I know that's a very loaded term and people have all kinds of thoughts about it. But when I make the line in the song where I say, like, they'll let me run the show. I'll teach them all the crap I know, put them to sleep when they get woke. That I'm being like totally sincere in that line. I'm like, no, I'm being tongue in cheek in that line. I consider like that is meant to be satire of the grumpy,
I see.
middle-aged.
But
person.
with you finding yourself
Echoing those
embodying
sentiments
that,
at times.
you're
Yes.
half in, half out, kind of.
I want to say the half in part I'm ashamed of. I'm not owning it. I'm not like, I'm proud I feel this way. I'm like, no, I hate that I sometimes feel that way. I would not be willing to write a song telling all the kids to get off my lawn. You know what I mean? Like, which is I feel like the song is doing.
I think for me, just the topic of it is comical because, I feel like as we get older, as things do change, you find yourself calling back to the day when you were younger and you were kind of entrenched in what was really happening day to day with the generation that you grew up with, and hearing the generation before you try to give you the wise commentary on, this is how it really works, and and that belief when you're in your late teens, 20s, whatever, and this idea of like, you have no idea what you're talking about, like this is the way it is now. That is so long ago, it doesn't matter. But then at this age, having those moments of like, ooh, did I just say that thing that was told to me?
Right.
It just booped out, and and having, I think that that conversation with yourself of like, wow, remember when we said we'd never?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But not that you're doing it for things that are for bad, good, or indifferent, but it's just that feeling inside of like, oh man, okay.
Right. Well, and there's different ways of landing on that. There's a lot of people our age, like, well, we are not all necessarily the same age. I'm saying Jason, in our 40s.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people our age that look back on all that, those experiences in our teens and 20s, and say, you know what? Turns out the grumpy old guy across the fence was right. And like, I feel that way now, and I'm right to feel that way. And that guy was right back then too. The teenage me, the 20-year-old me, I was an idiot, didn't know it. Whereas I would say that's not where I've landed. I want to say it's like, yes, there's youthful ignorance and, the brash sort of arrogant, like I know everything because, I'm young. But there's also a kind of like giving up on the world that we were right to question when we were young.
Sure.
And when you came, when you ran into it from older people that were like, because there is a cycle. Like when you're a teenager, the world makes perfect sense to you because you don't know any other world to compare it to.
Yeah.
Right. And so you get to our age and like now you've got different versions of reality you've lived through and you can compare them to each other.
Yeah.
And so, the danger in that is that you take that experience of being young when the world made perfect sense to you because it's the only world you knew, and you make that the sort of golden age of human history.
Right.
And you're like, this is the way it should always be.
Right.
And that's what the song is meant to be satirically calling out, even as it's calling it out in myself.
Yeah. I think it hits everybody because I think everybody experiences that moment. Aside from the social politics of wokeism and any of that stuff, I look at it more of just like you know, when you're growing up and you're going to school and your parents tell you, make sure you know, grades are important. And you're like, you don't know, it's different now. You know,
It's different now.
and then
They don't
now,
care about that stuff
being
anymore.
the age I am now, and having a nephew that's going through school and doing stuff, and being like, if you just do it, just do the work, you're gonna be fantastic. I got something else, and I'm like, I'm having that conversation that. Things like that, and this song speaks to me in that world of like, oh man, I'm saying all that stuff, and I remember being so adamant, like, I'll never be like that, and then
There
here
you
we
are.
Here we are.
But I mean, on the personal level, that's yes. So the song has that personal side. But like, when I say the line like, I don't want to change my mind. I just want to rewind the time and make the world stop changing.
Sure.
That's more on the social level, where I'm like, when you're complaining about the way the world's changing, it's like trying to hold the wind back.
Right.
But you can complain about it all you want.
It's happening.
But time never goes backwards.
It's happening. Things are changing constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny concept because it's a thing for me that as I've gotten older, little instances of some of these things kind of pop up and you're like, oh man, that hits me. Okay. Get off my lawn.
Every time I get another wrinkle up here,
Yes.
you find yourself saying something that you heard a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, a few times you've brought up new lingo because your kids are older. You bring this lingo into the bedroom.
Yes.
So the latest one was mid, and you said someone made a comment online that our new song "Unacceptable" was super mid. Or
Yeah.
something. And I was like, so he's
What is
referring to the frequencies? Does it like the
Actually, I tend to mix mid forward, so I do appreciate that comment.
No
Thank you.
trouble.
You see, with the API preamps, those really are mid forward preamps. So I don't know what they expect us to do. So
I'm
of course, it's
a
going to be
Megan
mid.
Trainor. I'm all about that bass.
That's when I feel old, and I'm like, what? I'm so out
All
of it.
these terms, yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because when I first started writing the song, that's all it was. It was a song about not understanding the way kids talk. And you remember, like there was a line in it that I did have in like an earlier demo where it was like, "I'm getting old." What was it for? And I don't know something how to use my phone. I remember you was like,
Yeah.
"You're on your phone all the time. What do you mean?"
This is disingenuous. I know you know how to use your
I
phone.
can't sing this.
I can't sign off on this.
No, but originally it was a joke song. It was totally just like, I'm old and I don't know what the kids are talking about. Like it was just an alienation from lingo thing. And I remember like asking my kids for help with it. And they were like, they were giving me some advice, but they were also like, this is a dumb idea for the song. I'm like, you're right. And as I sat with it longer, I'm like, no, I think there's something more to say than just a joke. And so it kind of became the song that it is. That I was much more excited about. But yeah, no, it definitely started with like I was putting together like a list of terms I didn't understand and just making a total joke song.
Now let's go back a little bit because to my recollection, was this the first song we recorded for Battle Scars? I think
We batched it. Like it was in a.
it was
in a
close to
set
the
of,
first one.
Yeah, but we didn't record it by itself. Like we recorded this
Right.
like with like three others.
Right.
We did Battle Scars in like I want to say it was like 4 batches of like maybe 3 batches of 4.
Did we
4 or 5
release
songs.
this thing before everything else? We
Yeah.
had to have recorded it like one of the very first.
Yeah.
Yes, we had like more than half the album recorded, and then we had this song mixed. But it was mixed by itself, and we released it before we had anything else mixed. That's right. It was definitely a work in progress, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as with Distance, where we released the first single a year before the album came out. More than a year. We released it in June of 2022, and the album came out in September of 2023. Is that accurate?
Because you released Non Grata, then what was after that?
I'm getting this backwards. It was 2021. June, Non Grata was June 2021, and then Deconversion Story. Nope. Back to Life. Back to Life
And
was
then-
July 2021.
And then
And then we did the Distance.
yeah.
I want to say June of 2022.
A lot of- yeah.
And Deconversion Story, like July, or something like that. I know the album came out September 2022. Anyway, so yeah, it was like super long because we didn't have that much of the album recorded. We did Non Grata as like a test of like, is this process we're trying even going to work?
Yeah.
We got the mix back. We're like, this is great, let's go. Yeah. But then a year later.
Right.
What do you think are? One question I always love doing in this podcast is like musical influences we hear in a song, because I feel like we are huge music nerds and fans and love sort of like tracing the influences into a song. So like, who?
I'm so excited to talk about this because
The Pointer Sisters. Sorry.
and this is why I recall, I think this was one of the very early ones that we did, because it was the second time that I recorded, because we did the Christmas tune was our first one with May, and then we did this one. And there was a moment when Sam was going through his lead part, and there was a hook in there, and I literally screamed out, "Is that the Pointer Sisters?" And he goes, "Yep." So,
But that was like that wasn't off the cuff, because there was like two, like the riff on the chorus was either going to be like, it was like, or I was like, what if we hybridized it? And it was like, and that was I'm so excited.
yeah, I was outside, and I don't know, pulling stuff out of the truck or something, and I was just hearing him play, just getting ready for something. And I just like, that's the Pointer Sisters? And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not even going to say anything. And I'm like, hey, that's the Pointer. I thought it'd be funny. And then he just agreed. And I thought, wow, that's okay.
That was totally what was in my head.
I love it.
Wait, do the Pointer Sisters song.
I'm so excited. Just can't hide.
I remember this, materializing as we were recording.
Yeah.
And here I am, plugged in the cans, trying to get it, and it wasn't coming naturally to me.
Right.
So you played it. I just handed
Did
the
I?
guitar over to you.
Oh.
And you played the chorus little...
I feel like maybe I'm on one side and you did the other side or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I forget. But I know this was one of... Because, oftentimes I overwrite. Like everything is like figured out down to the detail. But other times I have an idea, but I come in and we lay it down. I'm like, that doesn't really work. Like, let's try some other things. And this was the product of that.
That was great.
Yeah.
Pointer Sisters.
Yeah. Pointer Sisters. I feel like this is one song, going back to the question of like, because I definitely I didn't sit down, I'm like, you know who I want to invoke? You know who I really want to just try to like channel as a punk band? The Pointer Sisters. Yeah. that was just the influence on one riff.
Why not? Just got the Pointer Sisters bouncing around in my head today.
Because there are other songs where I'm like, I've been listening to a certain band for a while and I'm like feeling their energy and something comes out of me that's like inspired by them. This one, I do think the comparisons to At Any Rate stick, because I feel like this is a song inspired by Too Bad Eugene.
Really?
In a certain sense, I was like, I want to write a Too Bad Eugene song. Like, because there's usually in the process of writing a record, I try to reach out on the fringes and pull in influences we had not been drawing from, stretching kind of what we're capable of. And once I've done a few things like that feel good, I'm like, okay, I also need to make sure like we filled in our center, like that we've got some stuff that sounds like us,
Right.
that like kind of forms the glue on a record, and it's like for an audience member to be like, oh yeah, this is the Too Bad Eugene I'm familiar with. Not that it's stock or like overly predictable, but just something that feels like Too Bad Eugene. And this was one of those. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was Take Another Shot on Distance. When I was like, I just sat down to write a Too Bad Eugene song.
I can see that one for sure.
This was out on this record.
It's kind of a natural thing, though, right? As a writer, you kind of naturally go to the spaces that you're kind of accustomed to. Mm-hmm. In general, don't you find that to be true?
Yes, but there's also times in which I feel like this is just sort of the weird way my brain works, where like I feel like I've reached out on the fringes a couple of times in ways that were really satisfying. I'm like, ooh, I like the way this song or this set of songs pushes some of our boundaries. And then I just, like, there is a natural impulse to want to fill back in the middle. And just, like, have another, have a song that kind of just feels like Too Bad Eugene. I feel like that's kind of like what Green Day did on, like, Nice Guys Finish Last or American Idiot, where, like, they were trying some things as they wrote their record, but they were like, what's track one?
Right.
I need to write just, like, the perfect Green Day song. And I felt like this was like, I'm like, I need to write the perfect Too Bad Eugene song.
What's an example of a song on the Fringes where you draw inspiration from the Fringes on one of our songs?
Well, I happen to have watched a little bit of the previous episode we recorded of this podcast in which we were talking about Release Your Crown. And for sure, that was one where we were pushing our
But one
boundaries.
that might land, that's not so obvious as a left turn, like Release Your Crown. RYC, as I...
Nailed it.
That's
They call it around my bathhouse.
But
my hunting watch.
But you can draw influence from Motown or Creedence or something like that. And,
Stay tuned.
And it can stay, it can kind of land center
Yeah.
as far as...
No, that's true. I guess
1619 is kind of that, right? I mean, that's a completely different.
I mean, I would say with a song like 1619, I'm in a place of like, again, I never seek to like rip off a band. But there's a place where like bands that are like deep in my heart, I'm like, I want to like intentionally sort of lean into the influence they carry on me. And with 1619, like to me, that's old Bad Religion and a little bit of like Propaganda at their most like melodic. That I'm like, I want to like. I don't think 1619 sounds like a Bad Religion song. It sounds like a Too Bad Eugene song.
Right.
But it's one in which I'm pushing that influence. Whereas I know when we were making At Any Rate, the strongest influence on us through that whole album was all Descendants. But I listen to At Any Rate now, and it doesn't sound to me like Descendants are all. It sounds like this thing we made 25 years ago.
It sounds that way to me.
It sounds like Descendants are all.
Yeah.
Like I hear the influence on it.
Yeah.
But if I would never mistake At Any Rate for an all record.
What I would say is describing the band in general. When people ask that question, like, so what is it? What kind of music is it? Mm-hmm. I kind of always go that direction.
Agreed.
Based on that first record, because if you hear it, to me, it's always that.
You can. Yes.
However, as it's progressed, it's not anything like that anymore. I don't think.
Well, I think we've broadened. I wouldn't say it's not anything like that. I think I'm trying to think of like songs besides this one on Battle Scars that maybe sound like those bands. And maybe I'm hard pressed to think of one.
My question...
Unacceptable, our new single, for sure sounds like
Yes.
all. And that was pretty...
My question within that world is how much of that from a songwriter's perspective is more tempo or more chord structure? And does that kind of come into play as you're writing various songs?
Yeah, tempo and not just chord structures, but like rhythmic patterns of strumming.
Right.
Which is kind of, it's like, you can go back to the Descendants, but through them to the Ramones, and like, that just kind of like locomotive type.
Right.
There's
Social
no
D.
subtlety.
Right.
You're just, which
yeah.
I love that sound.
Yeah.
But we break from it quite a bit now. Like,
Right.
we're not always just doing that.
Right.
Whereas this was a song I'm like, I want to do that. I want to go back to just that like chord mashing
Right.
jamboree.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. We had a lot of fun making this one, I think. Good harmony stuff. The video was really fun. I think that really... and because it was the official single, I think it just is... It's always been there, and it's been a staple in the set. And it's just a good... It's a good one. I don't know what punk band I would... other than, I guess, our stuff, but I don't really hear... I can't put my finger on...
Yeah.
That's why I say
can't feel it.
Because as much as, going back to your point from before, I agree that if you listen to Too Bad Eugene and you know it was recorded... you listen to At Any Rate, and you know it was recorded in 1999, it's like, yeah, you could tell. There's an all Descendants influence on that record for sure. But to my ears at this point, 25 years later, it feels like itself.
Yeah.
Like it's in that camp, but it also like there's a distinction to what that album sounds like to me that like at this point feels like a distinct influence.
Sure.
Where I'm like I'm being influenced by myself in a certain way, which is a weird thing to feel, but like that is there's a kind of like self-referencing thing to when I write a song these days that intentionally feels like it's sounding like those days.
Do you think that led to choosing that as the single?
Honestly, I'm glad you asked that question. I did not see this. When I first wrote it and demoed it, I wasn't even sure it would go on the record because I felt like we were making a fairly serious-minded record, and this song felt kind of jokey. Like it was satire, and I felt like there was a social commentary to it, but it felt still kind of light, and it felt very kind of like, the title and everything sort of felt jokey. So I had it amidst my demos, but I wasn't even sure it belonged on the record. I played it for Calvin and my son and daughter, and it was them. Like Calvin, when he first heard it, he's like, "Dude, that's it. My generation will resonate with this song. That's like a radio single." Yeah. And I was playing him all the other stuff, and he was not saying that about anything else. I'm like, "Really? You think so?"
And do you think he was saying that coming from the lyrical content thing, or just the song?
It was holistic.
Sounds,
everything. No, he was into it on all the levels. I think it was lyrical and musical. And yeah, he's right. Like this song is screamed like way more than any of our other songs. Mine is like Unacceptable, which has been doing really well, but it's still miles behind. Mm-hmm. It's only been out 2.5 weeks. But yeah, that's been interesting to see. And I will say it's made it a staple of the set in places where I would maybe like, sometimes I look at the set, I'm like, oh, maybe we take this out. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't take shit in my fist out. It's like,
I feel like it definitely was something that represented what we were doing really well. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite.
Mine either.
But it definitely is a good representation of kind of what we're all doing. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. I mean, it's, some of those things are hard to pick because, that there's a certain tone, feeling, all that stuff. This one I thought it was, it makes the best sense. And I guess we were right.
That wasn't obvious to me. Like, I was totally leaning on the wisdom of my kids. Because it's something that makes me, like, something I'm very happy about in this band is that even though that has been, like, our most popular song, that hasn't necessarily dictated who we are, who we want to be. Like, I still, look to songs like Fool's Gold and 1619, the beginning and the end of the record. Like, I'm still very, like, I like those songs more than I like this song.
It's a good journey.
And I'm kind of more inspired by what we were doing on those songs than on this one in terms of, like, looking forward. And I'm not going to be like, well, this is the most popular thing, so let's just keep doing that as we go forward. Right. I feel like our kind of ethic as a band is more like what inspires us, not what's getting the most clicks. Like, it's something we measure. It's something I pay attention to, what's being responded to by the audience. But I feel like you eventually wear your audience out if you just sort of like keep giving them what you think they want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, Connor, you're not in the band at this point.
You hadn't been at that point.
Whatever. Had you heard it? What was your feeling? Did this hit your radar? Like, what is this?
Well, I found the record all at once, and maybe a month after you guys released it.
Okay,
it's somewhere in your ad sphere. It hit me. And, I've been kind of alongside you guys, like, the entire time. Like, I grew up with, we were adjacent a lot,
Right.
Like, I had a lot of the same friends that were friends with you guys. Right. I was just more hanging out with, like, Cameron Reed and Scobie and those guys.
Metal dudes.
Yeah, the hardcore kids. The Nintendo kids, And so, I listened to it front to back when I first found it.
Oh, rad.
That's the idea. Actually, if you want to know what day it was the day that I sent you a message on Facebook, like, hey, dude, new record sounds really sick, man. And really what I was saying was, If you ever need a drummer, hit me up.
Believe me, I took it because
That's funny.
you
I
probably
wanted
didn't
you to
know
know
that
I
we
saw
were.
it.
It was like within a couple of weeks of us being in the
Yeah.
situation
Yeah.
of needing a new drummer.
Yeah.
I wanted you to know that I knew the record sounded good.
That's funny.
That's rad.
And so, yeah, I think that I went on that whole journey all at once. Like, all the songs. Just bam, 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 bam.
I don't know if you know that that's a title of an old Too Bad Eugene song. All in my head.
Yeah, I do.
Totally in my head.
Old one. That's like, and to me, that's so ideal. Like, I hate releasing singles because I want the
I'm
album to be
conflicted by
experienced as the way you
conflicted.
experienced. It just doesn't make sense in the music world that exists now, Spotify.
Yeah.
You're rewarded much more for releasing singles.
It makes
But like
business
my
sense, but not
heart
music sense.
is like, I want this to be experienced as an album exactly the way you first
Yeah.
heard it. I love that.
And that song did explode out of my speakers.
Did it?
Because it just goes. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
I feel like that's by design too. Like, you know, we sequence our albums very intentionally. I was going to say in bands. I've been in a band that did the sequencing after we had recorded the record. I'm talking about Craig's Brother Homecoming. We recorded that record. We recorded all the songs and didn't have the conversations or like really get into what should go before what until after everything had been recorded. And it felt like it wasn't that intentional of a process where our records, like that is thought about for a very long time. We, before we record, I sequence the demos in a bunch of different ways. And where that song came on the record, coming after the slower, kind of more metally, is Release Your Crown metally? I don't know. But like the punch of the tempo of this coming out of the like slower tempo shaking Release Your Crown was on purpose. I thought it would reinvigorate the record at that midpoint.
It did.
In an intentional way.
I wonder how much that really affects people. I know for us it is a definite specific thing that we focus on in ways, but for Craig's Brother, after hearing that record for so long, it doesn't seem out of sequence.
No, I agree.
I would agree that I may have made some other choices, but as I hear it, and as you know the music, you come to expect this one's next. Here comes this one.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder, like, what would it be like if we just made like a jumbly mess? Would anybody?
I know. Would they be like, why is this song on after that?
I think that's probably fairly rare. I will say, one of my favorite albums of all time, U2's Joshua Tree.
Here we go.
You know what? No, but I think that album is very badly sequenced. Like, I love that record, but I think where like Bullet the Blue Sky comes is like too early. It's like it's a weird place.
How does that song go?
Are you seriously
You don't know Bullet the Blue Sky?
Sing it.
No, stop it.
I don't recognize the beat.
We'll listen to it on the way back. Let's be very clear. Anyway,
New segment. Guess the U2 song that Adam is beatboxing.
it's more to me like
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
what would be a fun episode, a non like song by song, is to like best and worst sequenced albums.
I love it, for example, when Propaganda does that one record where the first song is sung by the bass player.
Yeah.
What record is it? Supporting cast. So he sounds like this screaming bear. Mm-hmm. The second song comes in, and it's, what's his name?
Chris Hanna.
Yeah, the lead singer. And when you get through the song, you wrote those night letters. It's that one, right?
That's the first song.
And then he just comes in.
And then you get that breath of fresh air when Chris Hanna starts singing on the second song. It's like it's a reward.
Yes.
Similarly, with the newest Craig's Brother, the opening song is instrumental.
Yeah.
You kind of get through that, and that song just freaking rips. And then you get to the second tune where he's singing. It's like, oh man, this is nice.
Those decisions, I think, are
But I think it only works for people like me who listen to records in their entirety.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
agreed.
Otherwise, when it's on a playlist, who could care less?
Right.
Sequencing, and that's by definition, sequencing is for listening to the record
Right.
in its entirety.
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art form.
Which is a dying, way of listening to music.
Right now, like people make their own playlists and you resequence the album however you want. Of course, back in our day, you could put your CD on shuffle and ignore the sequencing.
Or just randomize it.
I will say, like when I make a playlist of my favorite bands, it is important to me that track one not be a track one from one of their records.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it's a fun like alternative. Like what else from their catalog could have been track one on one of?
You try to confuse yourself?
No, it's just making a different listening experience.
I know it so well.
So on
I'm
Joshua
surprised.
Tree, what's your track one?
Oh,
God forbid
Joshua
track
Tree
one
track
ends up on
one
top of that
is
list.
where the
I'm gonna
streets-
lose my mind.
Joshua Tree track one is where the streets have no name. It is a classic.
How does that
track
one go?
Oh my goodness! All right. Well, this was very fun. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Too Bad Evening Podcast. We got to head up to Berkeley. We're playing. This will be past tense. I was about to promote our show that will have already happened.
Come on now.
You missed it.
Get in your time machine.
There
Come
was
up to
hundreds
Berkeley.
of people there.
November.
First 10 get in free tonight.
Mention this podcast. And get it free. Anyway, we're playing with our good friends Give You Nothing tonight, the local Santa Cruz band we played with. I couldn't even tell you how many times. And then a couple other bands we haven't played with, Blunt Force Karma and Flower Chords. So we'll tell you later how that went. Otherwise,
Hundreds of people were there.
yeah, it was good. We've got a new Christmas song coming out very soon. I can't wait to
So
hear
soon.
it. So anyway, fun stuff. We'll do another one of these probably within the next year, hopefully sooner. Otherwise, yeah.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Where the streets have no name.
I can't tell if you're being serious with me that you don't know these
I really didn't know the tunes, but it's funny that it came out funny.
That drives me.